$1 group. There's a first prize of $60,000. They've won 207 races between them, the 30 runners, and £2,250,000 in prize money. Polly Gundry is unfit. She unfortunately couldn't make it, so Ruby Walsh takes over on the top weight, #1 Earth Mover, and that means Flaked Oats is now ridden by Jim Cullity.
Oh, certainly is a wonderful race, this, and with the change in the going on the far side of good now, that'll probably help Earth Mover, who's had a good season. He's run some good races over hurdles, and sadly didn't get far in the National. Big price, 25 to 1.
Another one that did not get particularly far in the National. Well, Tresor de Mai. We're going on to Take Control here. Now this one's got top class staying novice form. He seems to have plenty of weight for a novice. The race can fall to novices, but there's nothing wrong with his form. 7 to 1 favourite on course for mates.
Smashing little horse. This is Strong Tell. You'd have fancied him the start of last season. Ran some really decent races in good company. Remember him hacking up at Lingfield one day. He's a 33 to 1 shot. Glitter Isle just walking through there. He looks well.
The jockeys appearing in the paddock for the Gala Scottish Grand National. Maximum field and a real sense of anticipation about this race. And big raiding teams up from the south. Strong betting market. Big crowd on course as ever this day, and obviously Ergo Cup Day really takes their hearts in the west of Scotland. And one rumoured to be bouncing, speaking to Andrew Thornton earlier this afternoon, Gingembre, many people's idea of the good ground pick, ran a marvellous race when second in the Hennessy, won on this day last year in the big novice chase.
Northern Starlight, really good jumper. He's the mount of Tom Scudamore, who's joint leading amateur so far this season. Real good sound jumper, but the ground might be a little bit fast and the distance too far for him.
Tresor de Mai got to the second fence at Aintree. Plenty of weight again, for I think, of what he's done, and the problem with him is going to be the trip. It's a complete unknown quantity, 50 to 1 chance.
There's Tozak. James Fanshaw's horse has been in good form of late on the flat. They were out of sorts middle of this season. Doesn't have many jumpers, but this fella, he's got a little bit of ability. They've been difficult to train.
Noble Lord second in this race last year, and has certainly shown some decent form earlier in the season. Came to grief at Aintree, but Richard Phillips had a winner down at Kempton, and the yard is in excellent form.
That's number 8, Ad Hoc, winner at this meeting last season. He's had problems with his jumping. He couldn't actually say he's a bad jumper, he just loses concentration occasionally. But you heard Mick Fitzgerald saying earlier that he's got lots of ability and he'll like the going.
Well, the last fling carried all before him, frankly, in staying chases last year. It's not been as easy as that this season. And he's just disappointed. He hasn't really fired. And you need a horse at the top of his game for a race like this.
Well, we saw old Super Tactics running well. He's a 13-year-old. This fella here, Flaked Oats, is 12 now. He's had another good season. He looks absolutely wonderful, this horse. Winner of the Singer and Freelander at Utoxeter. But another one through the ground has just really gone the wrong way.
Royal de Vassy, a distinct possible, this one. Second to Browjoshi in a marathon at Warwick. And then behind Paper Rising and Kingsmark in the mud at Aintree last time.
Couple of greys in the field. This one the darker of the two. This is Misty Class. Another horse who's had a good season. I remember watching him win with us at Doncaster early on in the year. The ground too soft for him last time at Liverpool.
have a look how this market's developing. Take Control, strong in the market, 7-1 from 8. Gingembre, 12s, along with Ad Hoc, who's easy on course. Hannigan's Lodger and Spanish Main, the twist and pair at 14-1, along with Mertz Man, for which there is a definite course whisper. Supreme Glory, 16-1, Royal de Vassy. And Noble Lord and Celtic Giant also 16-1 chances. Paddy's Return 20-1. Mike Stan 22-1. Earth Mover the top weight 25s, along with the Last Fling and Village King. 7 Towers bidding to give Peter Niven his 1000th winner. Age 12 at 7 Towers, not Peter Niven, 28-1. Bank Avenue, possible outsider, also 28s. Strong Tell, Northern Starlight, Flaked Oats, Honey Mount, Supreme Charm, Last Option, Bitter Isle, all 33-1 chances. Treasure of Mai in the Taoiseach 50s, along with Misty Class, and you can have 66-1 against Khaki Crazy, Sparky Gale, Dr. Bones, a full show. And a man with a role to play, Paul Nicholls, talking to Mike Cannonball.
Yeah, Paul, it's a big few minutes for you now. 4 runners in the race. How are they all shaping up?
All seem in good order. Just had a sort of last-minute switch of jockey, yet again for Earth Mover, so third time lucky, let's hope.
Yeah, how is Polly? What's happened to her?
Just been a bit unlucky. She's carried an injury all week. She was like borderline yesterday, and I made her ride, not made her, I suggested she rode Endurance Vassy yesterday to see how fit she was. No problem riding, but it literally was very sore afterwards, and this morning she couldn't hardly walk, and there was no way she was going to be fit. Obviously then Ruby was going to ride him, and then Ruby got hurt, so Tony Ross takes over now.
Yeah, it's quite incredible, really, isn't it? You could that's the way things happen, though. You could end up winning it. But how has he taken the fall from the National?
He didn't fall, he just lost Joe at the 4th.
Yeah.
Jumped round then loose, caused them a bit of mayhem on the way round. I mean, he was very fresh then, and he wants to be fresh, and the ground's well in his favour, albeit he's got plenty of weight.
Does that help his jumping, do you think? His fast ground like this?
His jumping's not bad. I mean, apart from losing Joe in the National, and all the field did, didn't they? I mean, he's won so many chases and hurdle races. He's not a bad jumper.
An old flake toast never lets you down, does he?
No, he's as high up the handicap now as he wants to be. Yeah. And Mertz Man could be very interesting, I think, because he's got a lightweight and Ad Hoc. It's the first time he's had this ground since he won here last year. But 4 miles is unknown territory.
Fascinating. Good luck. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thanks, Paul.
Well, a horse that must have a chance here is Spanish Main, and I've got his owner here, Sandy Sanderson, and his wife. Now, what about Spanish Main? You were saying you're pinching yourself.
Well, I think we are, really. I mean, Anne Dimmer here, has a share with the horse, has a share with the horse, and it's first time in racehorse ownership. And here we are, a couple of years later, having run him in the National, and now we're in the Scottish National. He's won 6 races. It's just... we're still pinching ourselves.
What did he unseated at the first, so what did he do after that at Aintree?
Oh, that was an interesting story, yes.
Yeah.
He carried on riderless, obviously, got to the canal turn where the melee was, and Brian Crowley, who was on, I think, General Wolfe, fell off, grabbed the first horse he could see, and it was Spanish Main, unbeknown to him. And then he just galloped off and suddenly realised I'm on the wrong horse.
He got on
so he took him, he got back on the wrong horse. Got him covered.
A lovely story.
So he went, brought him back home for us, safely.
Well, isn't that nice? So you live at Cheltenham, so I presume you're...
Both Cheltenham-based, yes, we are.
So you'd love this horse to win the...
I would add, I'd like to mention also Sarah Bays. She also has a quarter share in the horse.
Yeah. Well, you just have. And what chance? You got the blinkers on for the first time.
Well,
Carl went and said he wants
Carl
yours.
thinks blinkers will just help the horse to concentrate a little bit more.
Yeah.
He just waves a little bit at each fence. He jumps well, but he just waves a little bit. But Carl thinks the blinkers will just make him concentrate a little bit more for the race. So who knows?
I wish you all well, and I hope he comes back safely, which is what it's about.
Thank you, Derek.
Good luck.
Well, that's Spanish Main. And, we wish them well. Well, a real interesting package here is Honey Mount, who's a former Cheltenham Festival winner. A couple of pulled ups in the last 2 runs, but hates heavy ground, will like this ground today. And Honey Mount's been put up by some decent judges this morning at a long price, and there is Honey Mount in the 33s. I have to admit I've nicked a bit of that each way as well. Will love the ground and can run very well fresh.
Hannigan's Lodger, she's had a good season, she's progressed well, she's stepped up in distance and done some really good, put in some good performances, but she ran at Aintree, she went a long way, had a hard race, and might just have taken the edge off of her.
Earth Mover now. Tony Ross in the saddle. Top weight, big task.
$25 to 1 shot, Earth Mover. Big chance for Roddy Green. Rides Trésor de Mai. Looks well, this horse, but might struggle at the trip.
Well, Take Control coming through. Tony McCoy looking to put the disappointments of the earlier afternoon behind him. The favourite, 11 to 2 now.
Strong tail. Kieran Kelly's got the mount on this horse. Haven't seen much of him of late.
Gingembre, winner here last year, loved the ground. A lot of the Shrewdies are on. 12 to 1 shot.
Northern Starlight, one of the better jumpers in the race. Got rid of his jockey at Aintree last time.
The Taoiseach, more problems than the Citizens Advice Bureau. A huge ask to come back here, 50 to 1.
Ad hoc, we've heard lots about how good he is at home, but he's not done it on the course since this meeting last season.
Noble Orr from an in-form yard, second in this last year when catching a Tartar in Paris Pike.
The last fling, big tip for this horse at Aintree. He disappointed there, but he's got lots of good form on decent ground.
Flake Totes, plenty high enough in the weights according to Paul Nicholls. Will stay on, but will he be quick enough?
Royale de Vassy, she's had a good season so far. Whether she gets this trip or not, we'll just find out.
Misty Class, disappointing run at Aintree. Trip no problem here, but a rank outsider.
Annie Mount, disappointing in his last couple of runs, but if he comes back to his best, he's got an each-way squeak.
Hannigan's Lodger, lucky owners, tough mare, will stay on to the death.
Village King got a great each-way chance, not beaten far by Bow at Doncaster last time he had good ground.
Spanish Main, tongue strap, blinkers, hoping to get a bit further than the first, which he fell at Aintree.
Khaki Crazy, not the quickest horse in the field, but he'll be carrying on when most of the others begin to get tired.
Sparky Gale, getting on in years now, wonderful jumper, that's never really fulfilled his promise.
Birchman pulled up behind Seven Towers last time out, but prior to that looked pretty useful at Wincanton.
Seven Towers, low head garage, tanks along, stays forever. Peter Niven after the 1,000.
Celtic Giant, normally a good jumper, got rid of his jockey on a couple of occasions, but came good at Newcastle.
At his return, stays all day, bit of a character. Ferdy Murphy in good form, winner already today.
Supreme Charm got a chance at a big price, looks well, one of those that'll jump and stay.
Last Option and Fiona Needham coming up from Hunter Chase Company where he was good, 33 to 1 chance.
Supreme Glory got the ability, but has the ground gone against him?
Mike Stan, one of 3 Len Lungo runners, and a few people have been backing this one each way. They think he's fresh and conditions suit.
Mark Pittman had the second at Liverpool with Smarty. Can he go one better with Bank Avenue? And that who goes on the ground?
Dr. Bones, 66 to 1 chance, and we know little about him, all his forms in Ireland.
And finally, the second grey in the field, Glitter Isle. He comes here in really good form. He shouldn't be a 33 to 1 shot because he goes on the ground and he gets the trip.
So the scene is set for the richest national hunt race ever run in Scotland. The £100,000 Gala Group Scottish National is next on 4. Stay with us. Think that Earth Mover's jockey doesn't look anything like Ruby Walsh. Well, you're absolutely right. That is Tony Ross on board, so confirming what we said. This means, it's interesting this, Polly Gundry was down to ride Earth Mover. She got injured yesterday. Ruby Walsh has been stood down. He's okay, he's just a bit sore, but he's been stood down. He doesn't ride. Tony Ross is on board, the third jockey. Now, this is the class act in the race because he's the top weight, and he's 25 to 1.
We are witnessing a major gamble going on this take control. 8-1 with Victor Chandler in the offices this morning, smaller generally. 8-1 on the course, halved in price. 4-1 they're showing against this take control. And Norrie Drummond on the rails is panicked, has gone 3-1. So 4-1 really shortened up with 10 adult, 11 and 12 Gingembre. But take control, one of the major gambles we've seen for a long time.
Eye catchers on the Scottish National. In the paddock, Mertzman Supreme Charm going to post Noble Lord and Sparky Gale. A huge plunge on take control. Also money for Mertzman, Gingembre and Royal de Vassy resultantly on the drift. Will the favourite go in? It's a horrible price now. 4-1, bit of threes in the panic zones. We've got the Gala Group, Scottish Grand National, a 4-1 favourite, a public gamble, a big event, Simon Holt to call it.
And Jerry Scott calling the order here. Jerry, who won this race on Merriman second back in 1959.
Take it on the outside then.
You'd think it was a 5-furlong sprint the way they were jockeying for position. Gingembre attracting late money, 11-1 from 12-1. And they jump away. Hannigan's Lodger lets them get on with it as they jump out to a cheer from the air crowd. And it's the last fling that leads the way to the first fence in the 2001 Scottish Grand National, from Glitteral in second and Dr. Bones in third as they rise at the first, followed by Earth Mover up the inside of Gingembre. They're all safely over, though Strong Tell was very slow and was the last to land. On to the second, the last fling, Dr. Bones and Earth Mover and Glitteral and Supreme Glory close up with Gingembre. Up the inside, Royal de Vassy, then close up with these is Khaki Crazy, Northern Starlight, and then Sparky Gale on the inside, followed by Supreme Charm and last option out wide as they approach Pennopen Ditch. And landing over this one, all safely over again, Strong Tell very slow in the rear, and one from last, Spanish Main. Two from last is Hannigan's Lodger as the last fling leads them over fence number 4, and they're all still standing once again as they near the last in the back straight, and it's the last fling by 2 or 3 lengths to on the inside Glitteral. The T-Shock has gone up to take very close order now, and then Gingembre and last option close with on the outside of runners Khaki Crazy, and then behind these is Supreme Glory up the inside of Flaked Oats, who's handy, and Supreme Charm wide of runners Northern Starlight, and then Celtic Giant, and these are followed by Earth Mover. In the midfield at the moment, Dr. Bones, who's dropped back a bit, and also Seven Towers as they straighten up towards the first in the straight on this their first circuit. The last fling lands in front and all safely over. Noble Lord, last year's runner-up, is on the extreme outside right of frame in a green jacket as they approach the next plain fence, and it's the last fling from last option out wide. Then up the inside is Glitteral. Gingembre and the T-Shock are close. Supreme Glory up the inside in blue with a white cap. Then in behind these is Earth Mover and Supreme Charm. Royal de Vassy up the inside. Tony McCoy has got the heavily backed favourite take control towards the inside in about 12th place, I'd say at the moment, maybe a bit further back than that, as they approach the fence in front of the stand with just over 2 seconds to go. Bad blunder by Misty Class, and has knocked Mertzman's rider Joe Tizard out of the saddle. A very unlucky incident there for anyone who's backed Mertzman. Mertzman unseats the rider, and Misty Class looks like being pulled up after that mistake. Spanish Main is last of all as they swing left-handed with under 2 circuits to go. Long way to go in this Gala Group Scottish Grand National, and it's the last fling that continues to make the running from Glitteral in second, then last option in the T-Shock and Celtic Giant improving out wide. Earth Mover up the inside then of Supreme Charm. They are followed by Flaked Oats and Gingembre and Supreme Glory towards the inner of Sparky Gale as they enter the back straight, then take control out wider. Next is Royal de Vassy and Seven Towers, and they are followed by Ad Hoc under a patient ride from Bank Avenue, Tresor de Mai, and then behind Trésor de Mai with Paddy's return, Noble Lord, Village King well down, Honeymount towards the rear as well with Dr. Bones and Hannigan's Lodger, and then Spanish Main and Strong Tell is the back marker as they jump the next plain fence, and the leaders bunching up over that one. And it was the last fling just from the Taoiseach and Celtic Giant and Glitter Isle up the inside. Khaki Crazy in their slipstream behind those as they jump the next, and then Glitter Isle and Gingembre all safely over that. They head back towards the open ditch. This is number 12 coming up of the, or rather not the next is the open ditch. That'll be number, rather at the end of the back straight, number 14 of the 27. And the Taoiseach has taken over from the last fling as they approach this one with Celtic Giant out wide. And then last option very close, and also Supreme Charm driving between runners. Paddy's return has unseated the rider at that one. Paddy's return out of the race as they begin the turn downhill, and it's the last fling from the Taoiseach as they make this run towards home once again. Last option is right there on the inside. Celtic Giant and Supreme Charm are close up. Dr. Bones and then Khaki Crazy on the outside as they jump this. Glitter Isle still very handy up the inside. Supreme Glory is close up. Take Control is just hunting up the leaders. A bluish jacket, white cap, just hunting them up in the hands of Tony McCoy as they jump the next. And it was up the inside Glitter Isle of the last fling in the centre. Earth Mover is right there under Tony Ross, a late chance ride for him. Northern Starlight is there, the Taoiseach on the outside, and then last option behind them, Supreme Charm and Gingembre. Royal Devassi up the inside. Take Control is only 3 or 4 lengths off the pace now as they approach what will be their last fence next time round, and the Taoiseach took it in front this time. The Taoiseach from Earth Mover up the inner of the last fling, who's given a reminder or two. Supreme Charm, a blue and white jacket, then Northern Starlight, followed by last option. After these then is Mike Stan, who's improved through the pack. Khaki Crazy. Next is Gingembre with also Sparky Gale right there. Then Take Control and Celtic Giant. Behind these is Ad Hoc and Supreme Glory. Noble Lord in about 16th place. Then Royal Devassi. Glitter Isle is losing places. Village King is being pushed along, and then as they enter the back straight, Bank Avenue from Hannigan's Lodger making a bit of headway. 3 or 4 lengths to Spanish Main. Trésor de Mai under the whip. Then a gap to Honeymount, Flake Tote, 7 Towers well towards the rear. Strong Tell and Dr. Bones looks like being pulled up. They're down the back straight once again. A line of 5 fences to take, and it was the Taoiseach that landed in front from Northern Starlight and Supreme Charm. Then Earth Mover up the inside of Khaki Crazy. Supreme Glory is very handily placed as they jump the next plain one. And all safely over that, the leaders. They trail back to Celtic Giant, Trésor de Mai. 7 Towers is barely galloping at all. Pulling up Strong Tell as they approach the open ditch once again. The Taoiseach in the red and yellow jacket just trailed his hind legs through it. Supreme Charm is going strongly in the blue and white with the noseband. Last option between the pair. Then Gingembre behind these from Northern Starlight. And then on their heels now is Take Control as they approach the last in the back straight. And this is 5 from the finish. And it's Supreme Charm and last option, Gingembre. Then behind these, Take Control, Supreme Glory. Northern Starlight is next. Ad Hoc is making eye-catching headway. Sheepskin noseband, pinkish colours, white sleeves, under a very well-timed run indeed as they leave the back straight behind them. And it's Gingembre that takes over, the Hennessy Gold Cup runner-up from last option. McCoy gets to work now on Take Control in 3rd place. Then Ad Hoc still running on with Supreme Glory as they landed over 4 out. They're chased by Earth Mover and Supreme Charm. Running down towards the 3rd last is Gingembre on the outside of last option, and Fiona Needham is having an incredible ride. Over 3 out Gingembre from last option. Now Fitzgerald gets to work on Ad Hoc. Supreme Glory is also staying on, approaching the 2nd last fence. Gingembre, Ad Hoc, a very bold jump in 2nd place. Then Supreme Glory on the far side in 3rd. Last option back in 4th. With 1 fence left to go, it's Gingembre chased by Ad Hoc. Gingembre 2 or 3 lengths to Ad Ad Hoc, then Supreme Glory, last option back in fourth, and Gingembre second in the Hennessy Gold Cup, now first in the Scottish Grand National. Second Ad Hoc, third Supreme Glory, fourth last option. They're a long way clear. Bank Avenue comes through for fifth. For some of you who've got each way bets on fifth places. In sixth place was Supreme Charm, then Sparky Gale from Noble Lord, Village King Take Control, who didn't seem to get home, Hannigan's Lodger, and then Earth Mover. Away back behind these, Glitteral and Mike Stan and Royal Devassi, then the last fling who made so much of the early running. Honeymount was next, followed back by Khaki Crazy and Spanish Main. Amongst those that pulled up, Northern Starlight and the T-Shock also pulling up were Celtic Giant, Tresor Mai, Flaked Oats and Seven Towers. No 1,000th winner today for Peter Niven, and Strong Tell was also pulled up as well. Gingembre, a winner on this card 12 months ago, has done it again for trainer Lavinia Taylor, based at Upper Lambourne and ridden by Andrew Thornton. Drawing right away, there were a few doubts whether this horse would get the trip, but he was laid out for the race today. The surface was always going to suit him. A great jump over the last. Ad Hoc had been beautifully produced into the race by Mick Fitzgerald. Had every chance jumping the second last, but at the last was already just struggling to go with this leader. Just in behind them was Supreme Glory, who'd always been prominent in the hands of Leighton Aspel and kept going well. And what a race that last option round, the eventual fourth, with Bank Avenue chasing them home in fifth place. On the run for home, Andrew Thornton, who bit the dust in the previous race, back on top with a win here on Gingembre, who lifts the Gala Group Scottish Grand National.
Gingembre returned the 12-1 clear third favourite, the biggest price he ever was. Generally 12 in the offices this morning, only 11 the tote. Well, 11 with Ladbrokes, the tote and Coral went only 10-1. They knew to duck. This Gingembre beats Ad Hoc, sent off the 10-1 clear second favourite. The third, Supreme Glory, was a 14-1 chance. Last option was fourth, sent off at 50-1 last option, and some bookmakers like Sunderland, Surrey, Bet Direct, Cashman's and Paddy Power paying on the fifth, 28-1 Bank Avenue, but a loser for most books, 12-1 Net and Vice, Gingembre.
Well, just desserts here for a good ground horse after a soft ground winter. He struggled on the going so far. He won here last year, 12 months ago. This is his day again, John, and he really was going so well from a long way out.
Yeah, and a good training performance this from Lavinia Taylor. She trained in Lambourne, doesn't have many horses, does well with them though, and done well to keep this horse on the boil. He was second in the Hennessy early on in the season. Ad Hoc's jumped really well. Going down to the last a little while ago, this horse would have fallen, but he really made the effort to get himself over it. Look, this old horse got his ears pricked in front, gets in front, Ad Hoc. Never going to win, even if he jumped the fence well. And this is been kept going, galloped right the way to the line. And he's a horse with a future. Not this season, but certainly next season. I would imagine he'll be coming back for another stab at this, or maybe the Whitbread. Got to feel a bit sorry for those people who backed Mertz Man. Was hardly gone any distance at all, not quite a circuit, and just gets a bit of a bump on the outside. Just have a look at this. It's going along, jumps the fence well. The grey October Mist makes a mistake, gives him a bang, and poor Joe Tizard doesn't have any chance but going out the side door. Take Control jumped well enough, ran well enough. He just made a couple of mistakes over on the far side. Maybe didn't get the trip, maybe he's had a hard season. Tony McCall just explaining to David Pike what exactly has gone on.
And the tote returns on the Scottish National. Now the win is £11.40. The places £3.70, £3.50, £4.20 and £22.40. The exacta 69.